Hello everyone, welcome to the Norwich City Cup run. Yes, Norwich are in the last 16 of the FA Cup, something we've not been able to say since 2012, I think, under Paul Lambert. I think that's right. I haven't actually checked it out, but any days. I tell you what, it's a lot colder here than it was when we were here in September. Anyway, Norwich have won 2-1 against Burnley. They've played very well from start to finish. They've created buckets of chances. Kind of gave a bit of stick actually towards Josip Drmic for the fact that he missed probably 4 in the first half. But having had a chat with Chris Gorham after, just in the mix zone, you know what, he did well. He linked the play well. He and had some really lovely passes and touches as things went on, and you could probably forgive him the slight rustiness for messing things up. Can I just point out there's Mr. Holker, who's Norwich City's Director of Communications. I thought it'd be funny if he stared at me while I did my video to put me off. So I got my own back. Fair play to Josip, because he had to put in a shift there. And, I'd probably forgive him for missing the chances, given he did have quite a nasty hamstring injury. And he hasn't played a lot. And we need him to deliver something for Norwich City, because he was one of the prime summer signings. And we've seen very little of him so far. So it would be good. And it would be good if he could build off that, because I think Tamer needs a hand. And he has an opportunity to be that hand. Notable, therefore, that Adam Idah didn't travel. I think that was, in fact, I just spoke to Daniel Farke there, and it's primarily because Norwich wanted to come here with as strong a squad as possible. And Tamer Pukki and Josip Drmic are probably the two strikers to play in that situation, and Tamer didn't get a rest. So and Tamer came on for the last few minutes too. So kind of underlined that Daniel went properly for this, and I have to say that the team played like they went properly for it as well. It's not to say that there aren't the usual issues, and they did concede a goal in the second half, and they were already 2-0 up, and it was a bit of a comedy goal and defensively poor, and it was very unnecessary. And it is frustrating when you see a side take a chance and get given a chance like that and take it, when it takes Norwich so much effort sometimes to get their goal. It did come from a sloppy header from Mario Vrancic. I tried to ask Mario in the mix zone about his 2 assists, as in the 2 crosses that created both goals. I think he actually thought I was talking about the goal that Norwich conceded as his other assist. So he basically swore at me with a smile on his face. And I probably won't live that one down for a while. But there we go. Symptomatic, I think, of the fact that was probably on Mario's mind, and that the Norwich players won't want to concede goals like that. We know how frustrating that can be, but ultimately they did more than enough to win today, and the fact they have won today does continue to underline this trend that if you distill it over a period of probably a couple of months, Norwich have played good football, they've looked confident, they've created loads of chances, they haven't taken enough chances, and they have made mistakes at the back, and that's really where they are. It's a fine line now between them proving that they are good enough to build on that and go on a run, or whether that keeps, whether they're not quite good enough to take that on into something else. Grant Hanley got the first goal, header from Vrancic's free kick, which Jamal Lewis said was mentioned that Grant Hanley is slightly better at defensive headers than attacking ones, so it's good to see him get that goal. And he got a bit of stick from this very part of the ground, actually, for being obviously a former Blackburn player. And the second goal Drmic got from a couple of yards, made by Vrancic's cross that Rupp tried to lift over Joe Hart, and the save just fell into Drmic's lap. Rupp looked good, I have to say. I thought he linked well, and he moved well, and he is obviously, Daniel Farke is preferring him in the sort of right side of the three, behind the striker, which of course is vacant while Emi Buendia is injured. I would thoroughly anticipate Emi to come straight back in as soon as he's fit, but it's interesting seeing that how Norwich are playing with probably a bit more discipline positionally from Lucas in that role. As I said, I thought Mario did really well actually with I'm talking about knitting the play. I mean, Norwich in possession were very good today. They really looked after the ball, and there were good performances all over the pitch. Jamal Lewis on his 22nd birthday slipped straight back in, and I had a nice chat with him afterwards. Again, I think there were 1 or 2 issues with fitness and health that probably caused him a few issues when he was struggling a little bit and got dipped out of the team. to be fair to Sam Byram, he's been playing well enough to keep Jamal out. And Sam was on the right this week, which is his more natural position. So he did very well too, and Norwich are strong in fullback positions, which is another point to be made. Marco Stiepermann and Hernandez probably struggled a little bit more than some of their teammates today. Just in terms of maybe the final product, not so much Anel, maybe with Marco, which is a shame because so much he did going up to sort of the final third was good. I think I do have to make the caveat that, you know, here in the league, Burnley just hammered Norwich for the first 20 minutes. They won the game, 2 goals, set pieces, free kicks, corners, press that Norwich just could not get out of. Now, Norwich will of course look at this and go, well, you know what, we learned from that. We learned how to read their press and we just played around it. But also, I have to say that obviously there were lots of changes, as both sides made a lot of changes, but the energy in Burnley's press wasn't there. They kind of looked disinterested, and that's a very harsh word to use because I don't think they went out not wanting to win, but their energy levels were nowhere near where they were in the league game, and I would imagine where they've been in their recent Premier League games where they've been very, very good too. So I think there has to be that caveat, but hey, Norwich can only beat what is in front of them. It was 0-0 at half time when it should have been probably about 4-1, and you know, because Trimic could have scored after 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, whatever it was. He put the chance wide, so and that would have been probably the perfect start for them, obviously. So, but you know, Norwich have done it. They've made it through to the 5th round, the last 16 of the FA Cup. We await the draw, which will be coming up on Monday evening, I would imagine. It's avoided a replay, which is very good news. Norwich have got a day off on Sunday. I don't think they're back in until Tuesday now, so they're lucky guys. I get to enjoy that, and good for them. And the 5th round, so there's no replays from this point on in the competition, and the 5th round is a midweek as well, at the start of March, I think. So let's definitely hope it's not another away trip, and certainly not in the northwest, because we've of course been up here for Preston and now we're up here for Burnley. But 2 successes. Norwich are 6-3 up. Oh god, that took a lot of effort, didn't it? And now they go to Newcastle, when, as far as I'm concerned, defeat probably realistically ends all survival hopes. And yeah, that would be me writing them off, but I think with how the league goes, it would be a tall order because of just the mentality and momentum that situation would create. I'll forgive them a draw. I'd love them to win. So we'll see how they get on. That's Newcastle coming up next weekend, a long old poke. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Leave your comments and give a like and share and do whatever you normally like to do with this video. I really appreciate it, and I enjoy reading what you think too. This is an open forum. Don't forget to read The Athletic. There'll be a few pieces coming out during the week. If you haven't subscribed, I thoroughly recommend you do. There's a discount code. On the Ball podcast will be out this week too. So loads of stuff coming up. All that you can need. Any links and what have you will be in the various notes and bits and bobs, so enjoy that whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or via the Twitter. In the meantime, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy a Norwich City victory. They're 2nd away from home in the FA Cup, and wow, cup run indeed. How about it, hey? Just got to this point where I think I've forgotten to say something. I can't remember what it is. If I remember, I'll tweet it. Have a lovely weekend. See you later.